once again everybody coming out, being here with us today, talking about basketball, and looking forward to this season, but also looking forward to working with you guys as we go throughout the season on helping each other as we move along. Hopefully, in a productive season here for us. So, we're getting closer. It's 16 days away, but really only 12 practice opportunities left. So it's going pretty quickly. There's still a lot of things that we want to cover, a lot of things we want to get in. But this time period, this crunch is, it's getting there. And, the one thing I continue to tell our guys is we don't need to be perfect or peaking on November 10th. We're gonna have ups and downs as we go throughout this season because we're still continuing to learn each other. We're still continuing to become a better, more cohesive team. And if you would watch us practice, if you would see us play, you would obviously see that our defense is way ahead of our offense. We've spent way more time on it in the summer and in the fall. So we're not quite where we need to be offensively, which will continue to improve. But another part of that though is also getting our guys a chance to play together, and that's what we want to do more. That's what we're aiming to do more. With our numbers right now, obviously the last time you guys were here, Miles was a little banged up. We've had other guys with some minor things here or there, so people have missed practices, people have missed opportunities. Giovanni Scott, who is transferred with us, is kind of working through some NCAA kind of transfer issues right now, so he's not with us. So we're still working through that as we got a couple guys banged up. So we haven't been able to play with our kind of putting 5 main guys together and letting them play together, see how they play, see how cohesive we can be. So, that part of it we're still working with. That's why you see us, if you see us, we're a little bit behind offensively. But we're getting there, and there's plenty of time to do it. I'm not panicked. I'm not rushed. I know 12 practice opportunities is a lot of time, and we have a lot of time to get to where we need to be. So I'm pleased with the older guys. Having 7 seniors is great. I talked about John, like always. His leadership has been really key for us, of getting us going every single day, making sure guys are in the right spot, guys are going hard, guys are competing. Competing's not an issue for us last year, but the older guys help them, they settle them, they kind of get them, keeping their confidence high is big, and that's one of the things I think the older guys are doing. So, November 10th is coming. We're as excited as can be to have fans back. I can't wait to see what the environment looks like here. There's, as you walk through campus, as you drive around the community, there's a lot of people that are telling me they bought season tickets this year. So I hope to see them there on November 10th, and then I hope they come back for whenever we play again at home after that. So we can't wait to have fans back. The excitement of this place, playing without fans, it forced you as a team to bring your own energy, right? That's what everybody in America had to do. We still want to do that, but we want the Rowdy students, the Legion of Blue, all of Nittany Nation to help us. Really back this team, really show their support, and I think we'll put out a product that they're going to be proud of, they're going to be proud to root for, and we're going to play an exciting and tough brand of basketball. So I'll open that up for questions if anybody has anything.
Hey, Micah, Mark Brennan of Lines 247. A couple things, if I may. Giovanni, do you have a timetable for when you would hope to get him back or get this resolved, and is he still taking classes?
I heard that question.
Do you have a timetable for when you hope to get him back, and is he still taking classes?
Yeah, he's still currently taking classes. He's here. We don't have a timetable yet. We're kind of wait and see and going through it and see what this process kind of holds for us. But yeah, he's still here. He's working hard in the classroom. He's doing what he needs to do to be ready to go when the time comes.
And can you speak to the job you and the staff have been able to do recruiting-wise? I know you can't get into specific names. And do you hope to have all those guys signed in the early period? Thanks.
Yeah, that's, I'm excited about what we were able to do. Part of that goes back to our staff. They've put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, and it's, the assistant coaches, it's Brian Snow, who's, sitting in the back of the room. I see him back there waving. What's up, Snow? How you doing? He hates attention. That's why I do that as much as possible. But even like him helping us, stay organized through everything. A guy like Nick Colella keeping us organized. When we had official visits and everything else. So it was a total team effort. We're excited about those guys, and hopefully on November the 10th, we get them all penciled in and be in Nittany Lions here pretty soon.
Nate Bauer, Blue Ed Illustrated. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Nate.
What's Miles' status, and how much of a setback has that been not having him for any period of the season?
Yeah, I think Miles, being able to, the one thing we didn't lose with Miles is Miles' voice, right? Miles can talk from anywhere, and he loves to talk from anywhere, as you guys know. So he's been around. He's been in practice every single day. He's working hard. He's been in more things as we go, and we're not. I don't think he's going to miss a beat. He's back and close to really doing everything in practice now. So he's there. He'll be ready when the season comes. We have, like I said, we still have 16 days, and that gives him an opportunity to get where he needs to be ready to go. But just like our team, obviously it's going to miss. He missed a little time, so he's got to play catch up a little bit. But we don't want to rush him where something else pops up. So, his health is first and foremost our biggest concern. But he'll be ready to go once the season starts.
Hey, Coach. Elton Hayes, CNHI, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Elton, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. With the number of, 7 seniors and a number of new guys coming in this year, how's chemistry improved over the summer and as you all head into the season?
The chemistry is, it's actually been, it's been really good. The guys you feel bad for, the 2 freshmen. That's, John, you get Jelani, you get Greg, and those guys are probably 5, 6 years older than some of their younger teammates. But the chemistry's been great. We try and do things as a team. They really gelled early on as a team. I think we have a lot of similar personalities within our group. But they've also bonded through, I tell it to them all the time, you get one opportunity with this group, right? Nobody knows what the future holds with any team, but you get one opportunity each year, and let's take advantage of that. And I think they've done that. But, we've done things to help in their bonding, but a lot of it they've done on their own. And, having an older group, having a responsible group, having a group of talkers, having a group of competitors, whether they're playing checkers, chess, horse, whatever it may be, they get after each other. But then, when practice is over, they love each other too. And that's good to see, and you see that. It's something that we talked about in the NBA a lot, right? When you're a younger player, all you care about is, as a freshman or a rookie, you want to start, right? Then when you get a little bit older, you want to score, right? As it goes on and on, once you get older, the most important thing is you want to win. And I think with 7 seniors, that's what those guys want to do. They want to win, right? They've had a chance to have all the other accolades, all the individual stuff. They want to win, and they know they get one opportunity to do it. So they've really bought into trying to win together.
Hey, Micah, David Eckert, Blue Ed Illustrated. I guess on a similar note, a lot of the guys who you brought in are older guys, seniors. Was that intentional? And if it was, why did you feel that was important?
It was intentional. It gave us, you know, the transfer portal can help you in a lot of ways, right? It allows you to almost had a chance to like put a GM hat on and let's build for the future, but let's build for now as well, right? Let's try and do both. Let's try and win. Like the most important thing for me when John said he was coming back, having Miles who, you know, never wavered, having Sam who never went in. Now Seth comes back. You have a group that has had success in the Big Ten. Now let's fill it with guys around them who can help them win. Like I want to do everything I can for those guys to help them win right away. But we also need to position ourselves to have more balance within our roster, you know, within each class of how we do it, you know, position-wise, class-wise, age-wise, and, you know, bringing in some guys that are older that may just be here for a year, some are here for 2. You get a chance to really now balance your classes out in recruiting, start bringing in more guys that kind of fit who we want to be as a staff, like guys that fit Penn State, guys that fit our philosophy, how we want to play offensively and defensively. So, you know, it is. You know, I got a short opportunity to try and, you know, piece it out and build a roster, and that's what I was looking to do with bringing in older guys.
Hey, Micah, Ben Jones, StateCollege.com. How's it going?
Great, Ben. How are you?
No complaints. Sam has
No
had,
complaints here either.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I could find something, but right now we're good. Sam has been through a difficult summer, and it's one thing to come in and say, hey, this is how I want to play basketball, and this is how we're going to practice, but to have the emotional foundation to help one of your players go through something like that is a lot for both of you, I imagine, as you get to know each other. How has that been, building a relationship and sort of helping him through the last couple months?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's been, you know, not just me. I think it's been everybody that has really reached out and tried to help him. You know, I'm sure you'll talk to him a little bit when you get a chance to, and he'll probably say it. Basketball has helped him. Right? Being around his teammates has helped him. You know, getting back to what he loves, being here, like going to school, seeing his friends, like that's kind of helped him along the way. So, you know, just like with what I said with Miles and talked about his health, safety was our #1 priority. Like any kid across campus, across a college campus, you know, mental health and wellness is a huge issue that, you know, we should be dealing with, not basketball players, like college students. And that's something that, you know, we're concerned about. Like, you go through something traumatic in your life, like that's something that we need to, you know, really care for, really be cognizant of, talking about his feelings. And, you know, I talk to him about a lot of things, also tell him that, you know, I want to help him, I want to try and coach him at the same time. And that's where, you know, the lines don't get blurred, right? We go on the court and, you know, I'm demanding of him in terms of what we need. But then when practice is over, it's over. And now I'm concerned about him as the person. And I think that's how we try and treat everybody, no matter if they've gone through something or not. We talk about with our team, there's kind of, you know, 3 H's that we've sat in a room and talked about. We've talked about our, first was our heroes, the second was our highlights, and the third were hardships. And we sat in a room and we talked about the hardships that we've gone through in life. And at the end, when everybody talks and everybody goes through it, and then it kind of puts in perspective what we're doing right now. I was like, we're playing a kid's game. Like, we're playing basketball. Like a game that was meant to be fun. But, like, missing a few shots in a row, that's not a real hardship, right? Like, getting yelled at because your defensive assignment wasn't done correctly, that's not a hardship. Like, what he's gone through, what some of his other teammates have gone through, those are real hardships. So we can't lose perspective in terms of what we're doing as a basketball team. Like, we're here to, you know, get a great education. We're here to have fun, try and win together, you know, provide entertainment for people that come and watch us. But we need to have fun at the same time, and we need to remember that there's people going through a whole lot more in their lives than, you know, losing a basketball game here or there.
Hey, Coach, Spencer Ripchick from the Daily Collegian. How are you?
I'm great, Spencer.
Good to hear. You have a couple of walk-ons this season. What's the most unique thing about this group of walk-ons, and is there any walk-on that stands out in particular?
They're all unique in their own way. I think the one thing about them, they've all kind of blended in pretty seamlessly. It's a great group of guys. You know, obviously Andy Christos has been here longer than the other guys. But, you know, Dan, Kalen, Ishan are all new to our program, and they've really, like I said, blended in seamlessly. It's like they've been here, you know, with our guys the entire time. But they bring something different to the table, each and every one of them. And, you know, you're not always, you know, everybody can't be a star, right? You know, but you can be a star in your role. And that's what I want those guys to really focus on. Like, be a star in your role to help us. Because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. We're you know, you're an injury away from having to play, or having to help us, or having to do something. So, like, learn what we're doing, grow in that, but be a star in your role, whatever it may be. And sometimes those guys will just be, you know, they get to play offense a lot versus big guys. We work on switching or doing stuff, and it's like Dan and Kalen, you know, have some offensive skills that present problems for our big guys, but they're helping them at the same time. I think the last time we were here, I talked about Ishan and like his personality and who he is as a recruiter. Like, he's been an awesome recruiter for us. Like, parents love him, kids love him, our guys love him. And he's really kind of taken that as like, that's who I want to be. That's how I want to help you guys, you know, continue to grow this program. So they've all been great. Yeah, I don't know if any of them have really stood out because, you know, we're just asking them to do what they do and then star in that. And they're helping us every single day. So they're helping us get better. They're helping our program get better.
Seth Engel, Daily Collegian. How's it going, Micah?
Good, Seth. How are you?
Doing well. Just wondering, as a first-year head coach here, you know, how do you hold a locker room accountable when you're around a team of players that you've never coached for before?
You know, you have to be honest with them. I think that's a big part is you know, that's how you grow trust is through honesty, through some difficult conversations, but through fun conversations as well. Like, I want to see what they want to accomplish. I want to know what drives them, what motivates them, like how I can best coach you to reach your goals. And that's kind of what, you know, the way that I'm going about it. And then, you know, I hold them to what they've said. It's like, hey, you told me you wanted to win. This is what it's going to take. And, you know, we stay by that and we stick by that. I'm sure that, you know, sometimes they probably still don't know how to take me in practice. There's days when I'm going to crack a joke or say something sarcastic to them. They don't know where to laugh or whether to keep a straight face. But, you know, that's who I am and that's how I treat them. That's how I talk to them. But I am going to hold them accountable. And, you know, they may see, you know, my alter ego come out when we're on the defensive end and, you know, somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do. Because that's when, you know, that's when I'm holding them accountable the most. If they're not doing that, you know, what they're supposed to do defensively. But, you know, maybe also if they're not sharing the ball, if we're not moving the ball. There's a few things. I think they're starting to learn, like what sets Coach Shrews off, or what gets me upset. I know it's hard for you guys sitting here looking at me, but I have gotten upset a few times.
Micah, just David Eckert, Blue Light Illustrated, just clarifying, is Giovanni able to practice with you guys right now? And if he's not, how are you handling that situation?
He is not practicing with us right now, but you know, we're working through it. That's, you know, you can't, I don't know, you just gotta keep moving and keep going on. Make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do, which he is. Like, you know, he's a big part of what we're gonna do here in the future. So, you know, my main concern for him is just like everybody else. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself, make sure you're making the right decisions, make sure you're handling your business in the classroom, and when basketball comes, like, basketball comes, right? There's no, like, you know, there's no reason for for us to cry over. There's no reason for him to cry over it. Just control what you can control, and keep your mind in the right direction. And he'll be ready for us. He'll be here. He'll be ready to help us. And we're looking forward to when we get him back.
Micah, Alexis Yoder for the Daily Collegian. What's the competition been like at the forward position for this team? That's something that this team had a really difficult time locking down the paint last season. Who's making the biggest push for starting spots and playing time at the forward position?
You said Daily Collegian?
Yeah.
You asked me that question. I was thinking you were working for the Youngstown State paper. No, it's fun. Every day is a battle. Sometimes too much of a battle, where it's like, all right, let's try and separate these guys a little bit. You know, obviously everybody knows John, like how hard he plays and what he's done. It's been well broadcast for the last 4 years on Big Ten Network and every other network that Big Ten games are on. So, but Greg Lee brings the exact same determination. He competes as hard as anybody I've ever been around. He competes just like John does on a daily basis. But then Jelani White is, when you look at him and you see him, and he's kind of a slow-moving guy when he's just walking out there. He's not going to smile a lot. He's going to keep a mellow look to his face, and he looks like he's pretty frail. But when the action starts, and he's not afraid to mix it up, and he hits people in the paint. And that's one thing that I think John has enjoyed, the battles with those guys, because there's no shying away from it. And I tell them all the time, we play in the Big Ten. Shot goes up, there's two things that can happen. You can either hit or you're going to get hit. One of the two. It's your choice. So they've all embraced it. I think it's a part of them already. So there's days where I just want to put them all in a bubble and just carry them get them to the first day that we can start playing. So there's a great competition. I don't know who's going to start. They're going to tell me who's going to start. We'll figure that out when the time comes. There's still time. We got 12 more practices where one can leapfrog the other, and it can happen one day. It can happen today, and then it could change tomorrow. So we'll keep rolling, figure it out. Let them tell me on November the 9th who's going to start.
Micah, thanks for your time. Max Ralph with Nittany Nation. Obviously, you've spent a little bit of time in the Big Ten. When you're coming into a new program, first time as a head coach, is there a benchmark that you look at for success in this conference and in college basketball in general?
For me, I think coaching in this league is kind of give you a perspective of what it takes to win in this league. And also, like, I've grown up watching it. I grew up in the heart of Big Ten country, so I've been watching Big Ten basketball since I was 5th or 6th grade. So I've seen what the successful teams in our league have done and how they've won, and that blueprint's kind of out there. People just do it each and every year, and who wins this league is they stick to that blueprint. So I don't know. I guess if I didn't come in and try and do that, I'd be a fool, right? Because you just follow what you do, and it's almost like having the answers to the test, right? You already know what it takes to win. You know how you should play. You know what you should do. I don't know if there's a benchmark. I think you look at like consistency. You see what Michigan State has done. You see what Wisconsin has done. The success that Purdue's had. Like, those are probably programs that you want to model because of their blue collar style. And I think that's kind of how we should emulate how we play. Is that kind of way. I look at our football program, and I see our defensive group and how tough, blue collar, like they give you a chance to win every single day. And that's what basketball, that's what it is in the Big Ten. Like, if you can be a tough, solid, gritty, man-to-man defensive team, you're gonna have a chance to win in every single game. And I think that's, who we need to be. So, I'm not gonna put a ceiling on what we can do or what we can do now or in the future. Like, I want us to dream big and dream as big as possible. But following that blueprint of how we play, like, that's what we're gonna do.
Hey, Coach, Spencer here again from the Daily Collegian. Kofi Cockburn announced that he'll be returning this season. How do you plan to compete with teams that may have a big man that will outsize you?
One thing you got to do is, you're probably too young for this, but it's not like weird science or anything, right? I can't sit in my computer and just make some dude that looks like Kofi. I got to go with what we got, and there's gonna be mismatches. And sometimes if you recruit somebody that's the same size, they may not be as good. Well, you're really losing the battle, right? You're just gonna put a lesser player out there. So what we try and do is there's gonna be a mismatch disadvantage somewhere. You have to flip it on them. You have to try and flip it on them. So, a guy like Kofi, a guy like Zach Edey that have tremendous size. There's like 2 of those dudes in the country, right? So there's not very many guys like that. How do you flip the battle? I'm a little bit twisted at times where, they might go bigger, then maybe we go smaller, right? And they need to figure out how to guard us, right? We know, if I know I can't guard them, then I need to win the matchup somewhere else. And I need to put them in a disadvantageous situation. It's not always about size, matching size with size, because not everybody has the same size. Not everybody has the same skill ability at that size. So it's not just about throwing a big guy out there to combat it, because then you're not winning any matchup, right? If your big guy's not as good as he's winning on both ends. We need to win it on one end or the other. So that's what we'll do. We'll be a little different in how we play. So maybe it'll be a little bit fun. I'll throw you out there.
Hey Micah, Daniel Gallen from Penn Live. Seth Lundy is someone who last year we kind of saw tease that potential. Getting him back, how big was that for you, and how have you kind of seen him take steps in his development going into this year?
Yeah, that was big too. I was on the wrong end of watching him score 25 points in a game. I've seen it. I watched last year's game at Maryland at the end of the season. So I've seen what he's able to do. I've seen him at his best. Now it's about, for us, continuing to work through to get him there consistently. And he's really worked at it. He put a lot of time in this summer, this fall, throughout the season. He's one of the last guys to end up leaving the court because he's, working with one of our GAs or working with one of our coaches on different things. He's up and he's watching film. He's watching a lot of film and trying to see where he can grow and where he can develop. And then it's on me, as a coach, to continue to put him in the right situations to be successful. I think that's what we want him to do. And like how we play, he's going to have more opportunities to put himself in good situations. But we'll get to it. There'll still be days, right? He's still young in his development as a player. So there'll be days where maybe he doesn't play his best, but we're going to try and limit those days as much as possible because he's a big part. He can go off. He can go off in spurts. He can have great games. Now we want to get him to do it each and every time we step out there.
Hey, Micah, Will Pegler, Onward State. Good to see you again. Kind of with having 7 seniors on the roster, you've talked about trying to balance that building for the future while also kind of having a win now mindset. With that, second part of that, how do you make sure it's not coming from a place of guys kind of putting too much pressure on themselves entering the season and trying to build something now and winning now?
Yeah, you know what? It's okay for them to try and win now, right? I'm not against that. I'm all for it. I want to do it. I don't want to put a ceiling on them in terms of let's set this goal, and if we don't we don't reach that goal, like our season's a failure. It's like, I don't want to do that, right? I don't know what that goal is going to be for our team this year, but we're putting ourselves in position to have success as a team. And I want them to dream big and do what they want to do, because I think they can. If we play the right way, if we come together, like every day's not going to be perfect. You know, I love being a team that's kind of counted out. You know, I love the underdog mentality. I love being able to go in and just swing freely, right? I love it. Like, nobody expects us to do anything. That's great. Keep thinking that way. Keep talking to us. Like, keep saying that to us more and more and more. That's all it's doing, is driving us, is fueling us to, you know, try and conquer expectations and try and do whatever we want to do. So, like, I want them to have that win now mentality. I love, you know, these guys, because the older guys have a chip on their shoulder, and they know that, you know, their opportunities are limited. So let's do it now. Let's be as good as we can get. Let's be as good as we can be. You know, and it's going to take time. I think we get better as the year goes on, right? But sometimes you need some luck. Sometimes you need fortune to all happen for you to have a successful season. So that's what we're hoping for right now. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, knocking on wood at every opportunity.
It's me again. This is sort of broad and existential, which you will come to learn is sort of my thing. You talked about the blueprint of winning in the Big Ten and understanding what that is. That has not necessarily been a mystery here for a while either, and Penn State has traditionally been a difficult defensive team and hard-nosed and a pain in people's butts and things like that, but it hasn't always actually equated to the winning, and that has driven people that have been in your position to just go, what is the next thing that you do? What is your relationship with that moment when you know what you need to do, but it's not quite enough? And how do you get over that compared to, you know, maybe a place like Purdue where the personnel or the situation is just simply different?
Yeah. You know what? It's part of that is you know, I talk to these guys a lot about stats. I show them a lot about stats. And, you know, I show them how our blueprint will be a little bit different, you know, maybe defensively. Like, if you look at the numbers, they were a high turnover team in terms of steals, right? They might have led the conference last year in steals, were number one. But then you were near the bottom in field goal percentage defense, right? Or points at the rim. So, like, the two they counteract each other, right? If I don't get that steal, somebody's getting to the rim and giving up a layup, right? So let's be a little bit different in how we play. Here's what the numbers suggest. So I told them, here were the NCAA tournament teams last year from the Big Ten. And let's look where they were in field goal percentage defense. Let's look where they were in turning people over. Like, they didn't turn people over. They were middle of the pack or bottom of the pack in terms of turning people over. Teams that were at the top of the league and turning people over, there weren't very many that made the tournament. So those are the facts that I have to give them. Like, this is why we're doing this. This is how we're doing this. This is how we're going to try and compete in that area. And then it comes down to, you know, your best is good enough, right? Your best has to be good enough. I can't ask them to give me more than their best, right? Just give me your best. So if something's not working, let's try the same thing, and let's do it smarter, let's do it harder, okay? And then if it's not working, we can change our scheme. Then we can go to something different. But if you give your best in what we're trying to do, that's good enough. I can live with the results of that, right? There's nothing else we can do, right? Now let's go back, we'll change our scheme, we'll get better personnel, and let's try to do it again. But, you know, if we're doing everything that we can, we're putting everything we got into it, and it's not working, then we'll come back and we'll try it the same exact way, but let's do it with different personnel. Let's do it harder. Let's do it smarter in how we attack it. So I'm okay with living with the results sometimes. Sometimes you play really beautiful offense and the ball moves from side to side and you swing it, you get an extra pass, get a paint touch, that dude kicks it to the next dude, he makes another extra pass, and the guy misses a three. Like, there was nothing wrong with the offense. It was the result. But I'm okay with that because the offense, that great offense led to that result. I'm all right with that result because we did everything we humanly could possible to get to something good. And more times than not, it's going to work out for you. It's going to work out in your favor. So let's continue to do it the right way. And that's, you know, you might see me clapping on the missed three every once in a while. If beautiful offense leads to that. And, you know, if it happens, if we give everything we got and we fall just short, like, you know, I won't be happy. I hate losing. I'm a sore loser. But I'll be okay with how we competed and how we prepared. We can live with that result.
Last question for Coach.
Hi, Coach. Derek Hyde, Center County Report. So obviously one of the big things of being a brand new coach for a team is getting the players to buy into your system. So how has that process been for you so far? And do you feel like you have a team that's all in and believes in you?
Yeah, I think it's still a work in process. You know, for forever it will be. And who knows how long it'll take. I'm asking them to do the unknown. This is, you know, I'm telling them that it's going to work, right? But what if it doesn't work the first time? Like, do we keep doing it? Do we stay with it? I think that's where the building trust leading up to that point, where they start to believe it is the right way to do it. And, you know, I think I was in Cincinnati and I was watching a high school team practice, and they were doing some things and moving the ball and passing the ball, and their coach just kept saying, it's not my way, it's the right way. Like, this is how we should play. We should play the right way every single time. And that's what I want our guys to do. It's not about me. Like, you know, I didn't invent basketball. I didn't. Like, the really good coaches, they just take stuff from other people that have been successful. And that's all I'm doing. You know, I'm just taking stuff from guys that have been successful and trying to make it work here. So, you know, showing them that evidence of this has been done before. This is how we're going to do it, and let's continue to try it. But these are the results of what other people have done doing it the same exact way. I think that's how you get buy-in. We do have buy-in. These guys are working really hard. They're competing really hard. They're listening. They're coming in with a great attitude every day to learn. It's new, right? They're all new to me. So when you come in and you want to learn something new, or when you are learning something new every day, it's fun, right? If you were, you know, in kindergarten or first grade, I got a third grader. Like, school's fun for her because she's learning something new every single day. So that's how these guys are. Like, every day when they come in, it's a brand new day, and let's see what we learned today. So the excitement level is still high for us.
Thank you, Coach. John will be
Thank
with
you,
us
guys.
momentarily.